Hello, and welcome back to more Standard on Arena with me, Autumn, aka Rainy the Witch. Today we are playing arguably the best deck in Standard, certainly the most popular deck in Standard. Izzet Prowess. Izzet Cori-Steel Cutter, in fact. Of course, Cori-Steel Cutter being printed into the format really shook the format up pretty dramatically. The format's kind of revolved around this card a little bit. Temporary lockdown stocks up. Decks that can't answer artifact stocks down. Big creatures have gotten good too. Because this card is really game warping. Really powerful. Whenever we cast our cantrips, our removal spells, our Swiftspears, these are just going to trigger making some tokens. As long as it's the second spell we've cast each turn, anything will make a token. And then these tokens with Prowess work with our other Prowess creatures, our Swiftspears, our Otters, our Drake Catchers, our Show-Offs, to unload a huge amount of damage. A lot of fast kills in this deck, especially with cards like Monstrous Rage that aid you along the way. And then you have some long game grind too. You have stock ups, you have Hearth Elementals. Your talents can return your stock ups to just keep digging through your deck. So your deck, like, this Izzet deck can also go really long. Some nice tools in the sideboard today. We have Rouse and Curiosity for the long games, the slower matchups. We have some get outs that I've been trying for the domain matchup. I like this card quite a bit. Very good at countering Zur, countering Temporary Lockdown, countering Overlords, or against the control decks, countering Shiko and Beza. I've been really loving this deck. Let's give it a spin and see if we can get some wins. How do I feel about this? God, this is so matchup dependent. There are matchups where, like, keeping this is fine. And there are matchups where keeping this is horrendous. Yeah, it does lose the basic mountain. Notably in the mirror, it could be fine, because we can spell pierce the cutter. I think on 7, I'm probably meant to mulligan this. Alright, this is a way better 6. 6 is nice. So we have a tricky decision here. I could play talent on 1 to push as much damage as possible, or I could save it for turn 3 so that it triggers our Cori-Steel Cutter and makes our Drake Catcher a 3/5. I don't want to save it. This might be bad. I kind of want to save it. This makes our, like, if we knew we were drawing a Swiftspear, obviously we'd play this out. But the fact that I didn't know that, just making sure the Drake Catcher and the Cutter get to be really good on turn 3 seemed important to me. Oh, I'm worried that they could have a temporary lockdown in hand. I guess if they do, we'll draw a Flood Maw eventually there. Alright, we're gonna go Cutter. And then I think I'm gonna go for an Opt. Because if I go for one of the creatures, I play into temporary lockdown pretty badly. And this is still a huge amount of pressure, even without the third body. Ooh, I do want the Flood Maw. That sounds great. Alright, we hit them for 5. We get 3 counters loaded up to make a Drake if we don't get locked down. They don't have the second white. That is some good news. Let's make this Drake. In that case, we might just push as much damage as possible. We can go Swiftspear Talent, push a ton of damage, have Flood Maw open for their lockdown if they draw one. How much damage? Yeah, that seems pretty good. I like this plan. I get that reference, Sophia. I played that game a bunch when I was younger. Wow. Not the best 3 steps ahead ever. Right, so we don't have lethal, right? We only have 14 damage here with the Flood Maw. Yeah, Flood Maw would be 1 short of lethal. So I'm just gonna hold off on it. because then we can bounce Lockdown if they cast it. Nice. Easy game one. Of course, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a follow to know when I go live. I stream Magic on Arena most Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, though I will sadly not be streaming tomorrow. Also, if you're really enjoying the stream, check out my YouTube channel. My editor does a great job of uploading VODs there. Lots of content from the past few months over on the YouTube channel. Lots of standard that you can watch. All sorts of different decks. Good stuff, really. Also, if you're really enjoying the stream, for coaching, I'm a Pro Tour champ, 4-time or 3-time Pro Tour top 4 competitor. Reach out about coaching if you want to up your Magic game, especially in Standard, which is the format I tend to play the most. And finally, up on screen and in chat, we have a link to my Patreon, where every week or two, I will post something on the Patreon, a sideboard guide, a matchup guide, a strategy article, my thoughts on a format. Lots of content up there, lots of content getting put up there. Patreon's been doing great. It makes me very happy because it's one of the best ways to support me. At the moment, we have a sideboard guide for Izzet Prowess up on my Patreon that I just updated yesterday. Very up-to-date deck list and sideboard guide for this deck available on the Patreon. So I'm going to keep this, but it's definitely a bit land heavy. But like, yeah, the sideboard games just slow down a bunch, as we are seeing. So keeping this is quite reasonable. I'm going to lead on Swiftspear, because the Stormchasers can trigger Prowess later, whereas the Swiftspear cannot. Yeah, I think the double white cloud is just a bit too hard to cast. I agree. I agree with Gwen on this one. Let's go Slight plus Stormchasers. We get to push some damage without, like, super overcommitting into the lockdown. Obviously, the lockdown would be annoying, but the lockdown would also get rid of their authority, so it could be a lot worse for us. All right, here I think I like... Oh, it's kind of interesting, right? I have a couple options. I could go Stormchasers opt, attack for 6, and then hold open Flood Maw for temporary lockdown. And then I can get Bazed as the problem. And Bazed is actually really strong here. So I think I really need to hold open this Get Out, which means I should probably just play the second Stormchasers out. If they play a lockdown, I'll probably still bounce it instead of countering it, because if we counter it and it goes to the yard, they can Shiko it back. But this seems good. Well, they're negating the Stormchaser is fascinating. This is fine. Let's get in for 4. Yeah, the Cloud card is definitely very interesting. Like, it's definitely doing powerful things. Even if it is quite hard to cast. Would I play this list in Hartford? If I was playing in Hartford, I'd probably be playing this 75. Tidebinder. So my one fear is that if I counter this and they have Bazer, it's really annoying, but it's not like unbeatable and they missed their land drop. I think I'm going to do this. Tidebinder isn't like super annoying, but I think it's just annoying enough that I should probably interact with it and push some damage in the process. Yeah, I'd probably play this 75 in Hartford if I had to register a deck right now for said tournament. Oh my gosh, these are so good. I don't really want to cast either of these into a counterspell. I don't feel like we have to. I feel like I can just attack for 2 and say go and feel pretty happy. It feels very hard to lose this game if I just say go, right? I get to counter their stuff if they do something spooky. Otherwise, I can cast a Curiosity and feel happy about that. Yeah, this just resolves, right? This doesn't matter. It's a free 2. We draw the sideboard cards. We do have a lot of sideboard cards. Ooh, okay. Let's counter this. I will say these get outs have been looking very, very nice this game. Just saying. Oh, if I bounce the Tidebinder, I can then just jam Curiosity, draw 2. I can also go Row, trigger my Prowess, attack for 4, have a Row going, and that's pretty sick too. I think I maybe prefer that. Well, if I knew I was drawing a second Flood Maw, obviously I would have bounced this, but hey. Here we are. Love Get Out. Yeah, the Get Outs have been really nice for me. It's such a sick piece of tech. Wait, plus or minus? Plussing is just really good, right? They're on 5. They're going to go to 6, but having 2 creatures in play means Curiosity draws a lot if they kill this Row and say go. It's a pretty good beta. I guess that's the one downside of plussing. Do I want to just bounce Beza and swing? I don't know. Sounds kind of reasonable, honestly. Like, what are they gonna do, you know? Backup Row. Make another Otter. There you go. Alright, here comes the Beza. They use up the Get Lost to try and draw a card, so I guess now if we bounce the Beza, they don't draw a card. And they just get more chump blockers that are gonna have to chump block pretty soon. Just Row again gets me the Prowess triggers. I wonder at what point I meant to start minusing. Yeah, you generally minus pretty aggressively. This time I might minus pretty aggressively. Oh, Barrage is perfect. Barrage is such a sick find. Am I discarding Curiosity or Stock Up? They're both so good. So good. I guess Stock Up gets me Row counters. Alright, fire off this map. Hearth Elemental sounds nice too. This Beza has been cast so many times. Uh-oh. Oh, they're gonna get lost my Row now. If I knew they were going to do this, I would have kept the Curiosity, but this is fine. This is acceptable. Ooh, the Slickshot's kind of good, right? Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We could also fish for lethal. If I take the 2 cantrips and we find a land, we have lethal, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess I should just fish for lethal. Yeah, they have authority for the Slickshot. True. Hey, what do you know? It's lethal. What a fun game. That Beza got cast like 4 times. Turn 1 authority, Beza gets cast 4 times. We are 1-0. Very nice start to the Prowess gaming. Remember that if you're enjoying this list, you want a nice guide for it, there is a matchup and sideboard guide for this 75 over on my Patreon. Xaxes, yeah, that was a satisfying win. This is one of those classic hands. You get this hand a lot in this deck, where if this Cori-Steel Cutter was any other spell in my deck, I would mulligan this, because the deck is too good to keep one-landers. However, Cori-Steel Cutter is too good not to keep it, so you know. And we have like Spirebluff plus cantrips, so we just hope that our top 5 cards have those have a land drop. Yeah, not giving Prowess triggers was sad on the cat for sure. That game. I guess we know we want a land, so I could lead with Opt, but I kind of want to use up the sorcery instead. Nice. Easy game. Yeah, Spirebluff is a basic, I would mulligan this. If it was a basic island, I would mull. I agree with that assessment. Interesting. Let's just go for resolving our cutter. Alright, they have a Slickshot. That's pretty spooky, because we're going to want to tap out to get this cutter going. But I mull if it was a pain land? Probably not. Well, spooky, spooky stuff happening here. It's doing okay for ourselves. We've double spelled. We have the potential to double spell again. It seems like we will be doing so. Top card is a land. That would be so nice. Damn, opponent playing smart around a burn spell here. Luckily we drew a land, so everything is fine. So I'm gonna go Slickshot. We are seeing how embarrassing stock up can be in the mirror right now. I don't want to kill the token. Instead of bouncing their Slickshot. Even though their Slickshot's slightly scarier. Maybe this is bad. Ah, interesting. So they gave up on the token in order to kill my Slickshot. So re-equipping is only +1 damage. But I think every damage kind of matters at the moment. And they don't have a ground creature that doesn't have trample at the moment. They'd have to like play a Swiftspear and be threatening lethal for it to really matter that much. Nice. Game 1. Alright, so we are playing the Mirror. In the Mirror, I don't really like Slickshot that much. I don't like Stock Up that much. I used to really like Rage in the Mirror. I think it's still fine. I think it has become a little bit worse just because people are playing more Flood Maws now. It's a lot of exclamation marks. It really is. The first deck was Mono Black Demons, Huzzled. It felt so sweet. Every time we play Mono Black Demons on stream, I just like never lose a match. Alright, flashback to our previous conversation. This one lander does not have a Cori-Steel Cutter, so we're mulliganing. What card am I getting rid of? It's one of the cantrips, right? Like, I'd like to get rid of Second Cutter, because it's clearly the clunkiest card in the hand. But also, Cori-Steel Cutter is busted, so... I guess I'm going to get rid of Opt on the basis that we're probably casting these at sorcery speed anyway. And I am just going to cast a Swiftspear on one. Chip cantrip or Swifty. Yeah, I quite like Swiftspear in the Mirror, so getting rid of cantrip makes sense to me. The Swiftspear is going to trigger off my Cutter as well. I'm going to play Mono Black at your Store Champ tomorrow, but you're just going to get run over by a field of 60% Cutter. I feel like the matchup's pretty good for Mono Black. I don't know. There's a lot of really large creatures. The creatures are so big in Mono Black. I guess they're pretty bad into Flood Maw, though. The one problem. You need your duresses to line up pretty nicely sometimes. Do they have a Abrade in hand? That would be pretty... Oh my god, I wanted to tap the Shivan Reef. Damn it. I just kind of trusted auto-tapper for some reason. I never learned my lesson. Fascinating. Sure. The fact they've missed a land drop makes Abrade feel slightly less pressing to me than it would otherwise. Right, hopefully missing a life doesn't matter from me mistapping. God, I'm so tempted to chump block. Just because I feel like I just so comfortably have the long game here. Anyway, I am not chump blocking. Yeah, they have Rage in hand. Okay. That makes sense. They brick on land. It might be incorrect not to get Drakecatcher down here instead. I'm not going to re-equip this one, because I kind of want to just have a 1/1 to block with anyway. So if they have Rage plus another spell, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just want to hold back 2 blockers. Of course, the spell could be Flood Maw, and that would be a problem. I feel like holding back 2 blockers makes it pretty trivial to do lethal next turn still. I think holding back 3 blockers is just like... 3 spells kills me, yeah. I guess if I held back 3 blockers, they'd need like double rage. Right, they don't have Flood Maw Rage. So if they did, I would be dead right now. So that is nice. The Monstrous Rage is the wrong one, I believe. Unless I can't count. So we go Stormchasers. Drake Catcher. We do have to cast this torch proactively. If they had a Flood Maw, they would have killed me, so supposedly that's not a card that can actually conceivably be in their hand. Or my opponent just can't count. That's also possible. Alright, please don't kill me. It seems unlikely I die if they're doing that. How did Rock Curse feel? I think the Rakshasa is not quite good enough on its own, but I really want to try a Golgari build. Like, I think the Rakshasa needs to do some, like, a little bit more than just enabling Annex. Is the problem. Because it doesn't block and it's not quite a good enough attacker on its own. I definitely would never play 4 Rakshasa. I'd play like 1 or 2 in mono black, I think. 2 copies of the best card in standard, but also 5 lands. This is genuinely closer to a keep than I'd like to admit, but I should probably mulligan. If one of these lands was literally any spell, I would keep in a heartbeat. It has Consider. God, it really is like shockingly close to a keep in my mind. The hands that have Cori-Steel Cutter are so astronomically better than the ones that don't. If this Surveil Land was a normal land, I would never consider keeping this. And if any of these lands were literally any spell in the deck, I would already have kept. I'm gonna keep, but this might be really bad. I just think Cori-Steel Cutter is super broken. Okay, well, the turn 1 mill temporary lockdown is not very encouraging. The turn 2 high noon is not very encouraging either. I guess I'm dead. Fun game. Get in there, Swiftspear. Main deck high noon, yeah, it's the world we live in. They lost to Cutter one too many times. They really did. Maybe I meant to cast the cantrip there. I don't know. If I draw a creature, I get to equip it with 2 cutters. Just saying. Presumably this means they don't have Shiko in their deck if they're playing main deck high noon, right? They have Shiko. How can you play Shiko and High Noon in the same deck? What? Aren't those two cards, like, pretty intensely anti-synergistic? Also, wait, Shahar streams? Genuinely had no idea. Yeah, this is a Shiko list. Fascinating. Ah. Alright. We out here trying our hardest. Uh-huh. Oh my god, y'all. Oh my god. This is so miserable. This is so heinous. I am so sad right now. They aren't even oh, they're gonna Jeskai Revelation. Woo. I might scoop this game in a second. I'm not convinced I want to play this one any longer. Right. Okay. What a horrific Magic deck to play against, truly. We've run into the I hate Cori-Steel Cutter deck. We already have. Opponent has our number. This is the board out Cori matchup. That doesn't really sound like a way that we win the game. But maybe. Maybe. This is the splash green for Paw Patch formation matchup. Flashback to Bologna. Yeah, that's kind of my feeling, Scooter. Alright, I'll keep. I agree, Gwen. I agree. Kind of want to stock up this turn. Maybe that's crazy. But then next turn I get to go double spell, hold open, get out if I want. There you go. Counter target creature spell, please. Amazing stuff. A lot of good cards. Almost want to discard a stock up. And then maybe an opt. Bash for 10. Force opponent to have lockdown. If they do, we have a Flood Maw. Do you have a counterspell opponent? You do. Fascinating. So if I negate, I don't get to make a Cori token, so I don't necessarily have lethal. So it's very possible I don't want to negate. Interesting. Wow. Shay, thank you for 61 months of support there. Wow, indeed. Thank you, Shay. Swifty or Hearth? They're both really nice. The Swifty, like, does push some damage, though. It feels like I shouldn't run out of cards anytime soon. I don't want to plus and just have a creature in play, but I guess I should probably minus. Oh, maybe Spell Pierce is fine. Let's go. When it missed the land drop. If I knew that was happening, I probably would have kept the Spell Pierce. So let's go for a Swiftspear. And then a Talents. And then swing with the Swifty. Maybe you should have plussed Row already. Since that's just going to happen this turn anyway. Alright, plus Row. Make a 4/5 and say go. That ain't big enough on Row Hearth Elemental. Wow, that's crazy. Negating this can never be that bad, right? It's hard to imagine negating this going that badly. Yeah, repping lockdown. If they lock down, we still have half route. Feels pretty phenomenal. Yeah, rare full-priced town. You love to see it. Okay. Goodbye, battlefield. I will miss you. Still have my Row in play, though. Oh, or they could just die. That could also happen. Alright, 1-1 somehow. Unfortunately, we now have to win on the draw, which is going to be interesting, but, you know, We out here trying our best. We really out here trying our best. Alright. Game free. Well, I'm certainly keeping this. It has lands and Rao. Opponent is mulliganed. Step 6. Oh, Swifty. I hate this decision. I kind of want to Swifty on one. I think. If I Swifty on one and they high noon, it's free damage. If I talent on one and they high noon, it's free damage. I assume they can't possibly have authority in their deck. Maybe it doesn't make a huge amount of difference in this scenario, which maybe means I meant to play talent to play around counterspell. Play around negate, but negate's just not that scary. Alright, let's go Sleight of Hand. Ooh, Flood Maw or Sleight. They're both pretty nice. We really need to find our 4th land drop. And we're not running into... Yeah, I kind of want to take Sleight, because we really want to dig for our 4th land. Our hand doesn't function if we don't find it. And... like, we're not very weak to lockdown at the moment anyway. So taking Flood Maw doesn't necessarily help much in that regard, regardless, so... Do I get Cutter or land? Cutter's so bad against High Noon. But it does give haste to my creatures later. We already have 4 lands, and we might draw more. I guess it's fine to take Cutter. Alright, we have a High Noon game. Oh, opponent missed their 4th land drop. That's pretty good news. So we're just going to attack for 1 and then Curiosity in their turn. To play around counterspells here. And such. They're killing my 1/1. This feels pretty acceptable. Do I ever just cast a Curiosity? They're a Furnace deck, so I feel like the answer is probably no. Miller High Noon makes sense. You have the counter, friend. And that one's pretty annoying, but we do get to resolve our row now. Plus or minus? Plus starts pressuring them. But minus plays better around removal. I'm gonna minus, I think. Discard Cutter. Opt. The 2 weakest cards. And hope they don't resolve a creature this turn. It's like the only thing I really care about right now. Alright, plus my Row. Play a land. I think I just want to cast a 4/5, right? 4/5's some good pressure. Not like I'm lacking in cards right now. So I don't really need to hold on to the Stoke Genius. They just activating their monastery. Wow, that's so good for us. Casting 2 mana 4/5s against Jeskai control. What year and format is it? Yeah, we basically just cast Tarmogoyf, it's true. I'm excited for them to sack their High Noon on our Tarmogoyf, frankly. Opponent doesn't want to do that. Opponent's not about that life. That's fair. Fair and reasonable. Let's go for a stock up. Let's see. I wouldn't mind having a Spell Pierce in hand, honestly. As weird as that sounds. Do I want to cast another 4/5? Pretty bad into a sweeper. I don't know how many actual sweepers they're playing, though. Maybe I just want it in hand anyway. I don't know. At least I can't cast it this turn because of High Noon. I'm just going to take Slickshot. Why not? I might just plus Rao. I'm not like super lacking for cards right now. Kind of nice having another Otter in play. Might force a lockdown. Alright, they are saying go. Wow. Crazy stuff. Let us minus our Rao. Dig for a Flood Maw. Lightning Helix on the Rao. The Rao only has 2 loyalty now, right? Yep. So on the one hand, that's sad. On the other hand, they can't cast another spell this turn. Discard 2 cards. What about discarding both show-offs? I don't know. Feels fine. Then we go Stormchasers, level up Stormchasers. Yeah, we have a lot of exclamation marks today. I have been on a winning streak, let me tell you. Hey Malavat, good to see ya. Get in for 8. They can't lock down us because they have High Noon in play. Which means we can get out the lockdown, and there's nothing they can do about it. They have... Oh no, that's so rude. That's so rude. Come on. Alright. Am I get outing to bounce my elemental? I really just want to use the stock up to dig for a Flood Maw more than anything, it feels like. God, the Day of Judgment. It's very strong. Yeah, maybe not bouncing elemental there is a mistake. Okay, I think now... I was feeling pretty good about this game. I think now we might actually be losing it. Maybe I needed to keep some of those slick shots earlier. Maybe that was the big mistake. Got rid of the slick shots a bit too fast. Beza. I will counter that, I believe. classic level 3 talent. Apparently. Very normal game of Magic happening right now. We're all involved. Okay. Cast a Sleight of Hand, get an Otter. Grab a Negate. Say go. Lightning Helix time. Oh my god, it's Lightning Helix. Alright, sure. This or the mirror yesterday, they're both pretty bad. So if I cast this Flood Maw, they get to resolve a Jeskai. I think that's fine. Oh, well, they get to do that. Sure. Sure thing, friend. Why not? Probably make sure I make my Otter here instead of playing Ral. The Otter feels pretty important, I think. Is it bad that I almost want land? I don't know. Oh, I also almost want the talent. Talent might be the actual unhinged take, but like it lets me rebuy any spell I want. And I have so many good spells at the moment. Yeah, cutters to give haste. I did actually consider that. Wow, they're cracking the high, dude. Let's go. And the crowd goes wild. Oh my god, let's go. Oh, this is so phenomenal. Alright, I guess I want to find a land drop, right? I don't think I've played one this turn. I have no idea. My wealth of riches. Get rid of the barrage. Maybe the stock up? Or the cutter? Or the Flood Maw? Actually, yes, I'm holding open 4 mana. I might just get rid of a talent. If I'm holding open 4 mana. Since I'm not playing it for like a turn cycle, it feels a bit slow. We've seen 14 more cards. You're ignoring the fact that we've also cast this many stock ups. Look at all these stock ups we've cast. We have 6 unknowns, indeed. 3 steps ahead, huh? Oh, so I just let it resolve and then I bounce it, right? With Spell Pierce back up. Didn't High Noon look so powerful this game? Wasn't that High Noon just so impactful? Honestly, just couldn't beat it. I don't know. Hardest card to beat in Standard. Sure. Good game. Good game. Oh, this was a great game. This game was the thing dreams are made of. I cannot believe we beat the most hateful... Is there any doubt now that Izzet Prowess is the best deck in the format? Is there any doubt now? My opponent was playing the High Noon Temporary Lockdown anti-Izzet theme deck. And they got demolished. Every single time we were so far ahead on cards. Izzet is just that good, y'all. It's just that good. Oh, that game was so much fun as well. That game was so...